Good evening, Springfield. Welcome to the Township of Springfield, County of Union meeting for February 9th, 2021. Call to order. This meeting is being held in accordance with public laws of
The
1975.
top is right there. Be
Chapter
careful.
231, an adequate notice of this meeting has been posted by a notice sent to the Star Ledger, the local source, and posted in the main lobby of the municipal building and on the township website.
Wait a few minutes.
Do we have David Penna with us? We do have David Penna. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance with David Penna from American Legion, Post 228.
This is for who?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, David. Can we please have a moment of silence for all of our service members abroad and at home? Thank you. Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Mayor Weber,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser,
Present.
Committeeman Capides,
Here.
Committeewoman Du Bois,
Here.
Committeeman Huber.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay. Start off with proclamations and announcements. Proclamation. We're going to read the proclamation first for Black History Month. Whereas during Black History Month, we celebrate the many achievements and contributions made by African Americans to our economic, cultural, spiritual, and political development. And whereas in 1916, Dr. Carter Godwin Woodson, noted Black scholar and son of former slaves, founded the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. And whereas Dr. Woodson initiated Black History Week, February 12th, 1926, and for many years, the second week of February, chosen to coincide with the birthdays of Frederick Douglass, Abraham Lincoln, was celebrated by African Americans in the United States. And whereas in 1976, part of the nation's bicentennial Black History Week was expanded and became established as Black History Month and is now celebrated all over North America. And whereas after the Civil War, many Black Americans sought a better life, free from oppression and in search of new economic opportunities and the liberty to create their own lives. Whereas the observance of Black History Month calls our nation's attention to the continued need to battle racism and to build a society that lives up to its democratic ideals. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Chris Weber, Mayor, on behalf of the Township Committee of the Township of Springfield, County of Union, New Jersey, do hereby proclaim February 2021 as Black History Month in the Township of Springfield and urge all citizens to celebrate our diverse heritage and culture and continue our efforts to create a world that is more just, peaceful, and prosperous for all. So, I just want to say something. I don't know if anybody else wants to, but I just want to say something real quick about Springfield. You know, in 2007, I had a son that was 13, going on 14. I had another one that was a year and a half old and one that was just about to be, my daughter was just about to be born. And I started looking for a place to live. I had to move out of where I was. And I chose Springfield because I felt it was a real diverse town. I felt that it was how I wanted to raise my kids. And I liked that they would be going to school with different ethnicities, different religions. It just wouldn't be a cookie cutter school, and they would grow up being exposed to everybody. I think it's important to note that we've seen some drastic changes over the years. You know, some of yous, and I'm not going to say because of the age, but some of yous lived during a time where America was very different than it is right now. And we've seen huge changes in the last 60 years in terms of where we are now. Still not enough. It still has to go further. We still have more roads to travel in terms of full equality. And I just want it known that we in Springfield will always strive to make sure that everybody feels included, everybody feels equal, and nothing less than that will ever be tolerated or accepted. And I know that from the 3 years or 2.5 years or so that I've been part of the governing township, the governing body of the township, I haven't seen anything but that. And it makes me proud to say that the people that I work with daily and the people that I've been around with the town all feel the same way. And that goes for the schools and the community in general. So I'm very proud to be part of Springfield, and I think what they do is wonderful. So thank you for that. Anybody got anything on that, or we're good?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Linda and thank the mayor for making sure we did have our proclamation. I mean, there's something to be said about obviously Black History Month, when obviously it should be something where we should acknowledge all the histories of a lot of people in our country, but especially Black history all year round. And as an educator, that's something that I know a lot of people I work with work on a daily basis. But in my role here, I'm appreciative that we did make this acknowledgement. And I do agree that we have made progress over the years in our country, and there's still a lot of room to go. And hopefully we will see continuation with more diverse voices in our government at all levels. Hopefully, as an elected official and as somebody who tries to pay attention to what's going on in government on all levels, like many of us do here, I openly hope that they start to consider HR 40, which is a bill that would go a long way in making the country more just, more fair, more equal for the Black community after generations of so many things that we won't go into right now. But as it boils down on a local level, this year we're not doing a Black History Month event the way we have in the past. The senior program might be doing one, I'm not sure, but the one that I know Committeeman Capides and I have worked on with local residents over the past few years, just because of COVID and just because of the constraints. But we will hopefully next year pick that back up and move on and do something. And I'm just glad at least we get to do a proclamation today. It's just like dropping a bucket to acknowledge an important month and something that we should talk about more than just February. So thanks, Mayor. Thanks, Linda. Thanks, everybody in the committee for doing that.
Nope, 100%.
Yeah, and I would just like to echo Committeewoman Du Bois's comments. And that's the sole thing that I was just going to bring up. You know, it's unfortunate we didn't do the Black History Month program as we did. I missed the crew, working with the crew, and I certainly miss Mr. Mitchell during this time. But I know he's looking down and he's smiling, and he always knows that if we could, we would. And that's all thanks to our Martin Luther King vigil that we had. I guess it was 4 years ago now, where we said that we needed to do something more than once a year. And I just would like to thank Committeewoman Du Bois's just graciousness and commitment to spearheading the program. And again, unfortunately, we have not been able to have one this year, but rest assured that we will continue to do that and honor honor and have a program as we did in normal years. And it's certainly missed this year, but next year will come soon enough, and we'll be able to do it bigger and better. Thank you.
Yeah, 2020, man, I can't wait to get back to normal. Okay. Let's move on. Radon kits for residents are available in Town Hall. Please call 973-912-2285. That's the right number. If you wish to schedule an appointment for pickup. All township offices will be closed Monday, February 15th in observance of President's Day. This next one is another rough one. Township extends our condolences to Mike Scalera and his family on the passing of his mother, Faye Scalera, on February 5th, 2021. Mike, we are sorry. You are a member of our family. You do more for our town than I can even tell you. And I know it's rough on you and your family, but prayers from all of us to your family. Thank you. Public comment, agenda items only. I don't see any. Apu, do you have anything?
I'm not seeing any.
Okay. If we have nothing on agenda items only, let's move on to reports and our business administrators report. Mr. John Basigalo.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, sir.
All right, I got a couple of things we're going to touch on quickly tonight. This one will come as no surprise to anyone from DPW. We spent the better part of the last couple of weeks digging out from the snowstorms. They really inundated us. We had total of 30 inches. We used 50 tons of rock salt, plowing 45 miles of roadway. Another 5 tons were used while shoveling 2.5 miles of sidewalks, 21 school crossing posts, and 7 DOT bus stops. Passageways were opened at every major intersection, and snow was hauled away from various areas to accommodate traffic and school activity. The nice thing is we had no major breakdowns to report during the snowstorm. So it allowed us to move fairly quickly. And hopefully, I think everyone would agree. I think DPW did a phenomenal job digging us out and getting the roads open. So hats off to Robbie and his guys. Thank you so much. From our rec department, and Adam, please pipe in if I missed something here. Rich, we had talked about opening Chisholm again. I'll give you an update, and this is direct from Adam. Quick update on what happened. He brought in Brendan and Adam actually had 4 returning staff members in for a training session on the COVID-19 modifications to the building. New responsibilities, team schedules were established. Walkthrough on the building pointed out new designated entrance and exit, hand sanitizer station, and restricted areas. Staff members were given a handout to review that lists all the reopening guidelines beginning tomorrow night, Wednesday, February 10th. The gym will be open now on most Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and on selected weekends for permitted youth sports activities. The rec department will continue to keep the master schedule has been done in the past. And they'll work directly with club leaders to schedule gym time according to the permit process, which includes an application form, a legal waiver, and insurance. The first sport to use the gym will be basketball with 7 traveling teams. If anyone has any questions of Adam, they're welcome to jump in and ask them.
Well, I talked to Adam today or yesterday. I forget when it was. But I told Adam if anybody gives his staff a hard time at night, I'm usually home every night after 6 o'clock. I'll go over there and I'll throw the people out. If the coach gives a hard time, that team is no longer allowed in there.
I'm around too if you need me for that, Rich.
Yeah.
I'll be your muscle.
Rich, Committeeman Huber is a very good yeller and screamer, so I'm sure he'll do the trick. With all due respect, Committeewoman Du Bois.
Yeah, but no, I just want to make sure we stand behind Adam 100% and the staff. And we, if anybody gives them a hard time, then they're no longer there. I've told the basketball and whoever else is going to go in there as we go, they'll just be not allowed to go anymore. And that's it. And I don't care. I care about the kid and the safety.
Okay. I did fail to mention that we also, fire department, during that snowstorm, had to dig out 400 fire hydrants just in case we ever had a fire. So, Carlo, thank you to you and your guys. I wanted to bring up something on RVSA. Every year we get reviewed. Anytime that we have exceedances on how much we're allowed to put through the system, we kind of get dinged. Last year, if you remember, we were, I believe it was, Craig, it was like 120,000. We were potentially going to get fined. This year, through some hard work and quite frankly, a lot of luck, we didn't have as bad a season of rain. We were down to only 10 I think a little over 10 exceedances. $17,000 is our potential fine. Now that gets offset by what we've done and the work that we've done in town and the money we spent will certainly, we're anticipating that will take care of any fine. So we don't anticipate having to pay any fine for our exceedances. We also, I've talked to Garwood about the possibility of buying flow rights again this year. We did put it in the budget. So we are looking to buy another 100,000 gallons. Because again, once the developments come online, we're going to have a problem, obviously. And again, once the developments come online and we can start collecting the fee that we've established, that will pay for the additional flow rights that we do need. So, and that has been tagged and put aside in a separate account. It does not go into the general reserve. It goes in exactly for buying the flow rights and any other sewer work that we happen to need. If I may go on to the developments and give you a quick update. I only have two. Our friends at Gomes did not supply me with what I asked. I spoke to Jacinto Rodriguez and I did not get back any work from him. So I will chase him again. And by next meeting, I will have something for you. On the Larkin building, the relief that goes on the front, half of it is in, the other half is being poured on the 15th or 16th. He is doing sheetrock now this week, is being installed, and that's going to be done over the next 2 months. The interior is going to be worked on. Charlie is anticipating a June, July finish date, opened up and having residents in the building. That could vary. It could move up depending on how inspections go, et cetera, et cetera. But that should be more of an outside date. Should not exceed that, we're hoping. On our Saks property, I spoke to our contact there. And let me just give you a quick update. Demolition and material crushing is scheduled for 2/19 through 3/30. They're still waiting for one letter from a utility for a disconnect. Underground utilities and site grading are scheduled for 3/1 through 9/30. We expect to hold a pre-con meeting with Mike Disco and myself within the next 2 weeks. They have posted the performance guarantees and engineering inspection fees last week. Footings and foundations of initial townhomes along Milburn Avenue are estimated to start on 6/1. They'll be applying for a building permit for the first and second townhome buildings within 45 days. Townhomes along Milburn shell and interiors, estimated start date is 8/15. Apartment building footings and foundation, start date is 7/1. The parking garage footing and foundation is scheduled to start on 7/15. The parking garage start date is 10/1. So that's the update that we have from Saks at this point. As I said, I will get you Gomes for the next one. They are pouring the piers in the center of the development is the next thing that's got to be done. And steel is on order and should be in sometime we're anticipating in February. So nothing has changed there, but I will try to get you some more info. Are there any questions or comments on anything that I may answer for you?
John, I just wanted to make a comment just about the exceedances, and I just want to let the general public know how low of a number that is. And you want to talk about long-term investments. I know that when we originally wanted to purchase these flow rights, and I'm talking about, I think it went back years ago. I think it started with Rich Huber when he was mayor at the time. We worked with Garwood's mayor, I believe it was Lombardo, and then it's now Mayor Tedisco. We worked long and hard to get some details going. And many people at the time when we passed the original resolution, argued the amount of money that, we were were spending and we were putting out. But it's for these reasons right now that we have so low exceedances right now, not only for currently, but we're also setting ourselves up for the future with the sewer connections that we're hoping to get the revenue from with these new businesses. So Springfield will never have these types of exceedances again. So it's a long-term investment and commitment. And I just would like to just reiterate to the general public. And also real quick, I know you mentioned about the great job that the DPW does and the fire department does. I also want to just give a shout out to our police department and our Office of Emergency Management for the prep work that they do that you never see in the anticipation that we'll need them during these weather events. Speaking of weather events, we are supposed to get 2 more, I believe, on Wednesday, and then, I'm sorry, tomorrow night to Friday, and then I think again this weekend. If you have any issues, please call 973-912-8483. Please keep your cars off the streets. And please, everyone's driveway is going to get plowed in. It's just a fact. We've been dealing with that since the beginning of time. It's a part of nature for these storms. It's not a Springfield issue. It's a United States issue. It happens to everybody. We ask for your cooperation. We ask for your patience. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. One other thing, when you talked about the exceedances we had, we also this year, don't forget, we did put in a bunch of meters. We're still working that. That has helped us. It's all of these little things that we've done that are starting to pay some dividends. But again, part of that was luck. We didn't get a real rainy season, which helped us. But once these developments come on and we do get the money for the connection fees, that's going to allow us to buy the flow rights that we need going forward and not come out of general revenues of the town. They'll be dedicated directly for that. So that's going to help us tremendously.
Hey, John, is Charlie's roof, is that watertight yet?
You know, Rich, I don't know. I will ask him tomorrow. I would assume so, since he's sheetrocking, it would have to be.
Yeah, because we're having a big problem on the job I am in New York, where I'm writing people up because the sheetrock's getting wet and it gets mold, and they just think they can paint over it. You can't.
Yep. No, I was in there, Rich, and it was dry. So
Okay.
I'm assuming that that is done. As I said, he did put insulation in, and he's in the process of doing sheetrock right now. I would be surprised if Charlie would go ahead and do that if, you know, he's getting water in from the roof.
Yeah, just want to make sure. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Nothing further. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, you know, I just want to touch on a few things that you did talk about. Number one, the efficiency and the way everything was done for 2 storms in a row back to back by DPW is just proof that if you invest a little bit of money, as we have in equipment and keeping things refurbished and buying replacements for aging stuff, the product you will get to the taxpayer is a superior product. So whatever investments have been made in our infrastructure in the last few years have paid off huge, judging by the fact that we had 20 some odd inches of snow followed by another 6 only days later, and everything's going. JCP&L, I don't know what you did, but we had no power loss. That was awesome.
Don't jinx it.
I know, but you know, I got to acknowledge when it happens that it actually went well. You know, it did go well. We have our work in Township is not going unnoticed. I won't give you a whole bunch of details, but John and I were speaking to a magazine who is going to be doing a feature on Springfield coming in the next few months. It's going to be exciting. We're going to be talking about, they want to talk to us about all of our redevelopment and how the town is growing, and it is not going unnoticed. So this is going to be a real nice article for the town. And hopefully you'll see that in the next few months. Adam, I know that there's still like 20 inches of snow on Chisholm. Is Chisholm going to get done before the softball season starts? Are we going to be lined up for that, or what are we thinking?
No,
Softball season's canceled. Softball season's canceled this year. That's it.
Bite your tongue, please.
we're gonna see, we'll see grass soon. The contractor and I spoke last week. We're at the top of his list. This was right before the snowstorm. So we could have seen him out here in February, but it's not a long project. And even if it does start March 1st, it's a 2-day project. And then the sod sets for a little bit. I'm not concerned. Softball will start.
That makes me happy that we're at the top of the list. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This makes me really happy.
Mr. Mayor, for all we know, the contractor may be out there. He may be buried under the snow.
Weber and I will go shovel the field if that's what it takes. I already shoveled 27 feet of snow out here, so, and some of our officers can attest to it because they were laughing at me because I was saying things that I can't repeat on air about the snow, not realizing that people could hear me. So they all got a good laugh, so it was pretty entertaining.
It's funny because people often equate girls' sports as being maybe the calmer sport or the parents of the calmer group or whatever. The softball community, and I'm a huge part of it. Erica's a huge part of it. They're rabid. I mean, they really love the sport. I didn't really understand it until my daughter played, and after the first game, you just get hooked. So I got a lot of love for them. Erica has a lot of love for them. So we just want to get that done. Adam, thank you. I thank you, seriously. All right, if we have nothing else on that, let's go on to, we got Mike Scaleras. He's not here today, right?
I'm here with the bid report.
Oh, Scott, okay, Scott's gonna take over from Mike. Hi, Scott, what do you got?
So first off, Mike Scalera wanted to thank everybody for all the calls that he got regarding passing of his mom. He said it's just a tremendous outpouring from the community, and he said it really helped. So I just want to thank everybody for that. And there'll be, there's no public funeral. There's going to be a private ceremony on Friday. Moving on to the bid, we're working on our bringing back our $25 gift card program, which is going on now. It's coming up for Valentine's Day. It's a $25 card you pay $15 for. You can go to the Springfield, New Jersey bid page and see all the restaurants that are participating. It's a great deal. And I think you might be limited to buying 2 gift cards initially, but I would check back with the restaurant near the end of the program, and if they have extras, you can probably purchase them. Again, $5 gift card for $15, great deal. The bid has completed their budget. We've submitted it to the town. We've allocated a substantial amount of money for streetscape in the budget to look at some areas that we hadn't done with our initial streetscape project. And we're also revisiting the grants program that we did late last year, where we provided, I believe, up to $1,500 per business to help them with some of their expenses with COVID and PPE and just what they had to cope with. And quite a few businesses participated in that. And so we're looking at redoing that again as we go into the spring. And that's pretty much it.
Hey, Scott, I have a question for you. Sure. That phone next to you, can you get a video conference on that phone next to you over there or what? What is
No,
that?
but I can call you up on it. It works.
Thank you. I got to tell you, if you don't know about that gift certificate program, that's one of the greatest things in the world. The fact that you can get $25 for 15 is how do you turn that up? You can't. I mean, so great job, Scott. Thank you. Before I go to finance, I do want to talk about one thing. Chief John Cook, are you there?
Yeah, I think I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I want to just address something before we go any further. We had a headline that came out the other day that was a little bit misleading, and it caused some issues for our department. You want to give us some clarification on that one?
Yeah, I started getting a lot of phone calls the other morning, and one of those social media things. I don't need to say what source it was, but there's this headline that says, Springfield officer among those charged in connection with assault of inmates at Edna Mahan Correctional Facility. So I'm like, I see that, and that headline to me screams out that it's a Springfield police officer. I mean, there are 2 Springfields in New Jersey, but this is being shown in the Springfield-Millburn area, so people would tend to think it has something to do with the Springfield police officer. I did get in touch with the editor and certainly laid out my opinion of what to me, this was, sensationalism at its finest, even though I was told it was not intentional. And shortly thereafter, they did a correction, acknowledged the mistake, but put a correction in saying corrections officer from Springfield among those charged with assault of inmates. So it was known that this corrections officer had lived in Springfield, which in all actuality, he no longer does. So that in itself wasn't true. But just the idea of using that to grab headlines, knowing that you're addressing a Springfield-Millburn area, it's detestable to me. I mean, it's hard. Things are hard enough as it is. But then to put that mindset into people unnecessarily, and even though it was corrected, the people that initially saw it didn't necessarily see the correction. And I'm sure word of mouth started going around already. And how do you take that back? So I was highly bothered by that. And in a lot of social media, it's a blessing, but it's a curse. And this is one of those instances where it can create undue, hatred or retaliation or whatever. It's just, then I had to, find out where this individual lived and make sure that area was okay from anybody that might have some thoughts of doing whatever. So again, it was corrected. I just think more time and responsibility needs to be put into these things when this type of stuff is done in the media. I'll refrain from saying anything further, but obviously I'm a little heated about it. So I appreciate you letting me be able to talk about it and get it out, get the word out for those who might not have seen the correction. If you want to take it from there, I think I've said enough.
No, I agree. Thank you. Because the phone started ringing the minute it came out, and I know you were on it even before I called you. So you saw it before I did, and I think before John did. So yeah, it just goes to show you that sometimes and just an ounce of double checking or proofreading. I don't know what you want to call it, but there is a responsibility. There is a responsibility to get that kind of information out quickly, and it could be damaging. And luckily, it was not for us at this point right now. The control was done quick enough, and the parties involved did apologize, and they did send out an email, stating that they will be more careful in the future going forward, and I accept that from them. And yeah, it is. It's we've got an outstanding department, and you just don't want to hear anything like that. So thanks for being on top of that and getting that straight before I even knew it was happening. So thank you, Chief.
Yeah, not a problem. In being that I have the proverbial mic at the moment, do you mind if I just bring up 2 other topics that are very quick?
No, I love having you here. Go ahead.
One is, as far as I've been getting a lot of complaints about snow in the street. You got these private plows that are pushing snow into the streets. People are sending me videos. We are on top of that. I've been able to identify one or two. I will be issuing summonses through the mail. I did put the word out to my officers. None of this is to be tolerated. So whether it's a resident with a snowblower or a shovel or a private plow, the guys are going to be looking for it. People are going to be issued summonses. It's just fair warning to everybody. I said I want summonses issued, no excuses. So fair warning to our people, you know, advised if you have a private landscaper or contractor doing it, make sure, you know, he knows to keep it on your property and not in the street. And the only other thing I want to say, and it's a very sad note, our neighboring agency in Milburn, they lost an officer. I am sorry, I don't remember the exact date, but it was during the snowstorm. Lieutenant Adam Norris of Milburn PD passed away. I would say snowstorm related. I won't get into the specifics, but I know we had his funeral on Monday. So I just wanted to mention that, you know, our brothers and sisters in Milburn, we're there for you. So again, I'm done. Thank you for allowing me that.
Thanks, Chief. On that, I want to go on, and I know for a fact because I'm part of a few of them. Right now, you've got a few GoFundMe's going around. One of them is for that lieutenant. One of them is for a teacher in Sandmire. And one of them is actually for a neighbor of mine. You will find them on the residence forms. They're around there. Any way you can help out, you know, right now you got 3 local families who got issues right now and need some help. And thanks for bringing that up on that one. As far as the snow plowing is concerned, 100% correct. You know, please don't make any phone calls if the tickets come. We've gotten, you know, the Ring doorbell. I have to tell you, the Ring doorbell has changed everything. We're getting videos of snow plows clear as day going and just coming and just driving snow from one person's driveway across the street to another person's, the front of their house. There is no denying it. It's happening. So when the tickets come, don't get upset about it. We warned you on it. So please keep the snow in the side of your house, in your backyard, on your property, whatever they have to do, but you can't go pushing it onto other people's properties. And the police department will be out there enforcing it. If we got nothing else, let's go to finance and pay some bills. Deputy Mayor.
Okay, I will make a motion to adopt the payroll and invoices from the period of January 27th through February 9th, 2021 in the amount of $8,075,585.44.
I second.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser,
Yes.
Committeeman Capides,
Yes.
Committeewoman Du Bois,
Yes.
Committeeman Huber,
Yes.
Mayor Weber.
Yes.
I would like to make a motion to approve and adopt organizational meeting minutes of January 1st, 2021 as emailed, and the regular and executive meeting minutes of January 12th, 2021 as emailed.
Will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to new business. Ordinances, second reading.
Okay, ordinance 2021-01. This ordinance amends Chapter 2 of the Township Code to allow the mayor to appoint alternate members to the township's Emergency Management Council.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve for second reading the ordinance as read by Madam Clerk for publication in the local source on February 18th, 2021.
Second.
Any public comment on this? Apu, do you have any public comment on it?
Seeing none.
I move on to discussion. Do we have any discussion from anybody on here on it?
I thought we discussed a little bit last time.
We did.
Yes.
Okay, a roll call, Committeeman Capides,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser,
Yes.
Committeewoman Du Bois,
Yes.
Committeeman Huber,
Yes.
Mayor Weber.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2021-02. This ordinance amends the stormwater control provisions of the Code of the Township of Springfield to comply with recent amendments to applicable regulations by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection.
I make a motion to adopt ordinance 2021-02 as read by Madam Clerk, with publication in a local source February 18th, 2021.
Second.
You have any public comment, Apu?
Seeing none.
Okay, any discussion on this at all? This was just a name change, I believe.
No, Mayor, this is an update to the model stormwater control ordinance.
This was the update to it, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Roll call.
Okay, Committeewoman Du Bois,
Yes.
Committeeman Huber,
Yes.
Committeeman Capides,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser,
Yes.
Mayor Weber.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-04, this is a first reading for bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new, additional, or replacement equipment and machinery, new communications and signal systems equipment, and new automotive vehicles, including original apparatus and equipment in, by, and for the Township of Springfield, County of Union, New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,539,000 to pay the costs thereof, to appropriate capital fund balance, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in the anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
I will make a motion to adopt for first reading ordinance 2021-04 as read by Madam Clerk, with the publication in the local source on February 18th, 2021, with a final hearing on March 9th, 2021.
I second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, could someone just, Mr. Basicolo or someone from first responder supervision, want to just comment, just tell the public what this is about?
Well, this is our capital for this year. As per instructions from the committee, we were told $1.5 million. This is for replacement of DPW trucks. And again, everyone has to understand that whatever we need, there'll still be a reso. We still have to come to you before anything is actually purchased. So there's a list. We went to every department, asked them what their capital needs were, and then we parried it down from there to get down to $1.5 million. So this is kind of just the broad stroke. You will see the individual pieces of it as we go along. Nothing gets bought without your approval.
Guys, those were the magic words. The breakdown is what I wanted you to explain to everybody, and it's piece by piece. Thank you.
And this is just one of those cases that has, when you have to replace old aging equipment, you have to, appropriate for it. So.
But Mr. Mayor, as you said, these are the types of long-term investments that are smart for our future, that help, clear the roads in so little time and do a lot of the infrastructure things that our residents come to expect. These are the long-term investments we need to make for those things to continue to happen.
And Mr. Mayor, I do want to just reiterate, this took a lot of hard work from our department heads. They understand that it's not a cookie jar. They've got to come to us with something that is a definite need, not a want, and they have to justify. So we went over their list, Diane and I, and we sat down with each department head. What do you truly need? Can we put something off? We tried to keep it at $1.5 million. That was the goal. And as you can see, we're pretty much there. So hats off to all the department heads. They gave up stuff in order to get it down to where we needed to be.
And, you know, last time we did this, last go around, I think we replaced some pieces of equipment that were 20 plus years old.
And you will see the same thing again on this one when we get to it.
Right. Okay. No other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Kaiser,
Yes.
Committeeman Capides,
Yes.
Committeewoman Du Bois,
Yes.
Committeeman Huber,
Yes.
Mayor Weber.
Yes. Resolutions. We are pulling 2021 65 and 66, I believe.
Correct, Mayor.
Craig, can you just give us some clarification on why we're pulling those two?
Absolutely, Mayor. So these two resolutions relate to adding and respectively adding and deleting some bus stops on some public roadways at the request of some other, I believe it's state agencies. And although the town can and will be doing this, we have to do it by way of ordinance instead of resolution. And therefore, we're going to have to tinker with it a little bit and get it on to the next meeting agenda.
Which ones did we drop? I'm sorry. Or
This
pull?
is 2021 65 and 2021 66. They're substantially identical, but for the particular addresses or locations that are listed.
Can we pull 67? I just want to discuss that a little bit.
Yes.
Thank you.
Pull 67. We'll pull 65, 66.
While we're at it, we need to pull 62 as well.
Oh.
Anyone else?
Anybody have a resolution they want to talk?
You should, Mr. Mayor, I guess you should run them through anyway, just in,
Yes.
so we're.
Oh, all right. So we'll make a motion to adopt, let's go through resolution by consent agenda, resolutions 2021-55, 2021-56, 2021-57, 2021-58, 2021-59, 2021-60, 2021-61, 2021-63, 2021-64, 2021-68, and that's it. Can I get a motion on those?
Yes, I'm gonna do that. I'll make the motion, but I'm gonna do them because there was a lot of action taken. I'm gonna do them just as you did, Mr. Mayor, if you don't
Yes.
mind.
Please.
I would like to make a motion to adopt resolutions 2021-55, 2021-56, 2021-57, 2021-58, 2021-59, 2021-60, 2021-61, 2021-63, 2021-64, 2021-68.
Second.
Okay. I'll do a roll call on those now. Committeeman Capides,
Yes.
Committeeman Huber,
Yes.
Committeewoman Du Bois,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser,
Yes.
Mayor Weber.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to adopt oh, do you have to read it?
I'll read the
Just to read it.
Yeah.
Resolution 2021-62. This resolution authorizes the Township of Springfield to enter into an interlocal shared services agreement with Bergen County Technical Schools for Information Technology Services.
The reason I pulled this is I have a conflict of interest on this one and I need to abstain.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2021-62 as read by Madam Clerk.
Second.
Okay.
You're slow, Erica.
I'm unmuting, sorry.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser,
Yes.
Committeeman Huber,
Yes.
Committeewoman Du Bois,
Yes.
Committeeman Capadese abstains, Mayor Weber.
Yes.
Resolution 2021-67, as we pulled 65 and 66. This resolution authorizes the Township of Springfield to enter into a shared services agreement with the Springfield Board of Education regarding the installation of protective netting at Ruby Field.
I just wanted to say thank you to the Board of Ed for working on this shared services agreement. This dates, this whole process, and we all worked on it. Thank you to John, thank you to Mayor Weber. And this went back to when I was mayor, so that's how long ago it was. It was like eons ago. It was so pre-pandemic, people ate inside and went to movies. That's how long ago this was that this process started. So I'm just grateful that, and last year, obviously, there wasn't really timing to do it, but I'm just glad to see this on the agenda and happening. And it's a beautiful, all the work that was done over there by DPW and everyone. It just looks great, and it's going to be fantastic. And I'm crossing fingers and toes for a great season for all the spring athletics, and it'll be great when the field is all finished.
Erica, thank you. I want to add something on that. We went through a lot of hoops to get the Dayton team a great looking field. This is the last step. We have done the fencing. We have done the home run out markers. We have done the bleachers. We've moved them. We've done the 15-foot poles in front of the bleachers to install this protective netting. We've leveled and graded the field. They are going to have an outstanding baseball field. And
it's going to be safe. It's going to be much safer than it was prior, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, there's no more sitting there and look down for 2 seconds and you have a line drive coming at you. You're going to have netting. You're going to be able to sit there and watch the game and be at peace. And that's part of that's part of a growing town is having desirable fields like this for high school teams and recreation teams to play on. This is what people look for when they move to this town. This is why it was so important to get Ruby done. And thank you to the Board of Ed for working with us on this. I've said it since the beginning, and I know I speak for the other four. There's no doubt about it. This committee right here is willing to work with the Board of Ed to get things done. You have 3 of us have kids in these schools. 1 has his grandkids in this school, and 1 needs to get on that a little bit and get some kids in the school soon. All right, I'm just going to say that, Alex. All right.
1 went to the school, so maybe we'll go there.
He's a little young, but we've all got an interest in this. We want to see every facet of Springfield succeed. So this is just one of them. So yes, I'm excited that we're working with the Board of Ed and getting this done, and looking forward to stopping into that first practice, those first games, and seeing these kids play on a real field. It's exciting. We've got new home run markers out there. There's almost nothing we haven't touched on that field right now. The batting cages were redone. The only thing that we have left to do is I have been in talks with some people about a scoreboard, about donating some money for a scoreboard. We're trying to figure that out yet. That's the only thing we have left. We know that we have power going to the old scoreboard, so it is there. We just have to figure that situation out. Once that's done, boy, you're going to have a great field for this team, and people will be proud to play on it. So thanks to everybody on that one.
Okay, I'll do a roll call on this, or somebody's making a motion.
Make a motion on what,
2021-67.
A little slow there.
Yeah.
I'm a little old.
You're jumping me. You can't get your part right. Let's go, partner.
2167.
I second.
Okay, Committeeman Huber,
Yes.
Committeewoman DuBois,
Yes.
Committeeman Capides,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser,
Yes.
Mayor Weber.
All right, move on to discussion and action item.
The boys, wake up. Erica.
I think she's reading. I think she's reading.
I was getting it, and then I have to unmute. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I would like to discuss approval request for the Recreation Department for New York Blood Center, New Jersey Blood Services. I'm sorry, New York Blood Center, New Jersey Blood Services for a blood drive on Thursday, February 11th from noon to 10 p.m. Rescheduled due to the snowstorm, and Tuesday, April 5th from noon to 10 p.m. Certificate of insurance and hold harmless agreements provided.
A second.
Okay, I'll do a roll call. Committeewoman DuBois,
Yes.
Committeeman Huber,
Yes. Well, what's up,
Committeeman
man?
Capides,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser,
Yes.
Mayor Weber.
I just want to add one thing to that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, during that blood drive, they're doing COVID.
Antibodies. If you draw blood, they'll do it for free. It said in the advertisement. Yeah.
So that might give you a little incentive to go out there. If you're curious to know if you've got COVID antibodies, they're going to give you that test for free on that. So, correspondence.
Wait, before we go further.
Yes.
First, on the blood drive, I want to make sure, and it might cost us a little money. I mean, somebody from Recreation to be there, because a couple of years ago, they left the water running, overflowed and ruined cabinets. And it took us, John, it took us a couple of years to get it back. Adam's not there anymore. But it took us a couple of years to get the cabinets back in, go through their insurance. But maybe we should get somebody from Recreation, one of the part-timers, just to sit there that night and make sure everything gets turned off before they leave. That's only my suggestion.
Got it.
All right. And also, since we discussion and action, I've talked to the mayor. I think that it's come to the point where we should go back into the session at town hall. I know somebody might oppose it. We should talk about it. And for the March 8th, starting March 8th, which is, I think that's the first meeting in March, we should go back into town hall and have our meetings there. So, people can see us. People can, and whatever it's broadcast on, I don't know. But I know people on my block watch it. And they could all, and there's a phone line, they could call in if anybody has any questions. So if anybody, that's
Well,
my.
I know the Board of Education, I know Mrs. Gamarikian, the president of the Board of Ed, sent out a letter to parents yesterday that they're going to start their meetings almost in like a hybrid model of meetings, which I found interesting. I don't know what the rules are for us, if that's something we can look at, because I don't remember ever discussing that, but I just looked at it today. I think it was sent out last night, so I thought it was an interesting approach to it. I don't know exactly if that's something we could possibly do as well. Like, they're slowly kind of bringing people back in, so maybe.
I gotta tell you, I think it's safe to say that the BOE meetings probably draw a bigger crowd than our exciting meetings do. Judging by the last 2 years that I've been up there, and the 3 or 4, just judging by all the years, it's safe to say we probably have an attendance of less than 10.
Mr. Bartosh, with the amount of questions he asks, he counts as 10 people.
We've got our diehards that are there all the time. I got to tell you, Rich, I agree with you. I think it's time to go back, and you got my yes on that one. And I think what I'd like to see happen is I don't want to drop this Zoom platform. I think this Zoom platform works well, and I think it works well for people who are still not comfortable going back out. So I don't want to drop this. I think we just have to figure out a way to integrate it in.
Apu, can we get this can we do the Zoom and also tape it in town hall if we all bring our little computers there? If I bring my computer there, can we Zoom?
You can. So the biggest issue becomes having multiple audio sources. So if everybody's has their computer there so that they can be heard well, or
There'll be feedback if we're all on at the same time in the same room, right?
Yep, exactly. And if we're not using multiple computers, if we use multiple computers, everybody's got to wear headsets and mics to avoid that feedback and sit far enough away from each other so that you don't get picked up by somebody else's computer.
Sorry.
And if we're using the audio system in the room, we need to make sure that it doesn't become a source of feedback, because any remote participant feeds into that mic and then comes back into the speakers. There are possibilities for us, but we looked at it once. It was going to require a bunch of work, depending on how exactly what exactly we're looking to accomplish as far as who's in person and who's remote. There are certainly options available to us.
I mean, and I remember when we spoke about it briefly last year when we were considering returning. I think the who's going to be in person and who's going to be on Zoom and remote, I think that's all manageable. I think the piece that really needs to be looked at and examined is, can we do a Zoom and also broadcast it on our local station? Because I think that's the most important part. I think the reason we want to go back to Chambers is not only to return to normalcy, but also be able to broadcast on our local channel. Because right now we're not broadcasting on the channel. It re-airs on our channel, but right now we are broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube. We want which going back to Zoom, going back into Chambers will give us the ability to broadcast on our local station, so that people that want to come in person and comment can do so while we're on Zoom. Because if we're on Zoom exclusively, someone can't come to Chambers to make a comment. They got to do it on Zoom.
What about if, just say, the mayor is on Zoom and we were being broadcast on our station, whatever station it is, I don't know. I'd be for that, and then see how it works. I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, have one person, the mayor, on Zoom this way, there won't be that much feedback. We could be mute on this if we have to. And everybody wants to, they can always watch on the station. Well, I mean, that's my idea. I just think that we should do something, because the school's going back. You said your school's going back, Chris. I mean, everybody's going back, and we should go back, I feel.
I agree with you, Rich. I think it just comes down to the semantics of how it's done.
I approve, and I'm just speaking for myself, not the whole committee. Can you see what you can do and let us know by the next meeting, which is 2 weeks away? Because for March 8th, I do believe it is, that's when I think we should be back. We should go back. So you have 10. Okay, John, 10. All right.
No. Rich, I agree. I agree with you, Rich.
All right. So if you can get back to the mayor and John and everybody else. Am I saying something wrong?
We can definitely look into it, Mr. Huber. The one thing I would say, I defer to Joe Voorhees about the TV station. He knows more about that than I, but my understanding is that we're not set up to go live at this point. So we would need equipment to be able to do anything live. So when we were in person previously, it was taped and then rebroadcast on the TV station. We're not set up to be live on the TV station.
Well, I think we need to look into that. In addition to everything that goes on, I think we should start broadcasting live as well. If I misspoke, I apologize. But after we get the town hall meeting set, the next thing we should immediately look for is to get these meetings live.
Yeah. So let's take one step at a time.
Absolutely. I also, Rich, if you're done, I have one thing to bring up.
Yeah.
if that as a discussion item, I just want to let the people here on the Township Committee and the members of the public know, last Saturday morning, I reported to Kane University. I was lucky enough to get an appointment for my first vaccine shot. Admittedly, the scheduling, the online scheduling is a bit of a heavy lift. It is very frustrating. You need a lot of patience, but the county does put out a lot of resources, whether it be the website, whether it be a phone number, whether it be other mega sites that you can do. I want to encourage everybody to get on that list through your healthcare provider, that you can be informed when it's time to schedule, and then do everything that you can to try to get scheduled either by ucnj.org, or by calling 908-613-7829, 908-613-7829. When I got to Kane University, I was in and out in an hour. It was quick. It was organized. It was a 15-minute period that I needed to wait in order to be released, to make sure that I had no adverse effects. And literally, as I was getting my shot, I got a text notification and scheduled for my second dose, which was going to be a month away. So I want to encourage you, unfortunately, as a town, as a country, the time where we're running out of patience, that's when we need the most patience. And
It's a nightmare. I'm trying to get appointments for my father and my in-laws. I'm not even worried about me. I'm worried about them. And I've been trying. I follow every Twitter page. I follow every Facebook page. They send me alerts. I can't type fast enough to get a person an appointment. It's absolutely bananas how hard it is. Hopefully it'll get better. I'm thinking about all those people out there trying, and all those people who may not be tech savvy that have no options to get appointments, because at least I am tech savvy enough to make that effort. But
you know how savvy I am, Erica. And I got an appointment, and my wife and I got an appointment, and now we're going for a second shot in a week, 2 weeks.
It's good to hear.
It's a crapshoot. It really is. But there's the issue is that there's not enough vaccines
exactly
to fill the demand, and that's certainly going to be alleviated quickly, because there are more vaccines to New Jersey coming in the upcoming weeks. For sure.
One last thing, if everybody's got something to discuss today, some good news. John, Mary Ellen, Miss Donnelly, they worked hard and put out a job posting for a PIO officer. Finally, I know this has been a priority of our township committee for a while. And the listing went out, I think, the other day, if I'm not mistaken, last week. And we're looking for somebody part-time. It won't be a full-time position, but the listing is certainly out there and open to anyone in throughout the township or throughout the state that has some background in communications and wants to give back. And we're looking to make a hire at some point this year so that we can upgrade our communications to the township and make sure that messages are being received by all. And this has certainly been a priority. So we're finally taking a step in that direction. And thanks for the mayor for prioritizing that.
Alex, I'd like to just add, I mean, if anybody's got, social media savvy, please don't hesitate to if you don't think you fit the mold, you may. So err on that side and send us your resume.
There you go, Rich.
That's true. And then John, I think it's on the League of Municipalities. Is it?
Yeah, and we did
anywhere else.
Website also.
Website
also. Be in for an interview soon.
Yeah, I think this is something that we've talked about for a while, and I have to say that all five of us were on the same page with this. There is a lot happening, whether it's development, blood drives, recreational services. There's so much happening right now that this is the time. We're one of the few places around that didn't have one. It's time to have somebody. There are so many forms of media out there to reach. We need somebody who can get to all of them and has ideas, an out-of-the-box thinker. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for somebody who can connect to different age demographics. It's an exciting time to be part of Springfield, and this will be a great position to somebody who, has those extra, I don't know, 10, 20 hours a week that they are looking to fill, and will help us with our growth in our township. So thanks.
And if not, then I think Mr. Bicicolo is going to have to learn how to use Snapchat and Instagram. So,
And we're going to be in trouble.
John, you'll love those filters, though. You're gonna look awesome. We're all gonna look awesome.
Back to you, John.
I think John's one TikTok away for being a master of social media.
Somebody bail me out, please.
Well, listen, can we, while we're on this public information officer, and we know it's going to be happening in the next few months, Chris, I got to ask you, I know you had the most experience on it, and you had talked and you had done the most research on it. How far are we from being able to run this TV station live at this point?
We're not far. I am not an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
What we basically do, we have the structure to do it. We have available space in town hall. We have the capability right now to run programming off of our master control with the camera controls that we use. Because we have a public education and government channel, which is called a PEG channel, which Comcast provides us, we do get funding specifically for maintaining and purchasing equipment for a television studio and station. What I would love to do, and I was talking to Superintendent Goldberg about this just toward the end of last year, is starting to form a partnership with the TV production students on their end. But before I did that, I wanted to get our side straight first. And I would like to continue the dialogue that we had before COVID started with Apu, with Joe Voorhees, trying to figure out what equipment we can use, what equipment we need to buy. I know that I've already acquired some donations from Union to add some extra cameras, and what we can do to start recording and airing videos, starting simply and then projecting out. So in short, we have capability right now to put some stuff on air. We just have to come up with the equipment, the staff, the manpower with the knowledge in order to do that.
I don't want to throw this on you, but I know you've got this. I know you went the farthest on this than anybody.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm thinking, and you and I talked about it. We all actually talked about,
Mm-hmm.
Springtime is coming, summer's coming, multiple sports. You still have grandparents that still, are not traveling, or, people that are not able to be out in public at this point still, slow vaccine rollout and everything else. I got to tell you, I think that a channel broadcasting softball games, soccer games, lacrosse games, football, I think that would be just phenomenal. And I think we are, I don't know if we're underestimating how much it would be appreciated, but I got to tell you, for, like my mother, who, she's patiently awaiting her second vaccine shot. She actually goes for it tomorrow. And she would have loved to have seen my daughter, at a softball game and be able to tune in like that. So I really, if you can continue this, however, whatever you need me to do, and I know whatever you need us all to do, we're there for you. So, but I do want to make that a priority and kind of start pushing ahead on that.
Okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't the first goal, and I don't want to prolong the meeting any more than we have to, but let's make the first goal getting back in chambers, having our meetings in chambers, then, and then once we're comfortable with that process and procedure, make sure that we can eventually go live with our meetings. So we're no longer going live to tape. Let's get them live as they happen. Okay. Then when we do that, and then I think when that is structured, then let's sit down, John, Apu, Joe Voorhees, let's put our heads together and let's start talking about equipment that we need to purchase, staff that we need to purchase, knowledgeable people, equipment, things of that nature that we need. And as a matter of fact, with this, when I looked at the ad that we took out for a public information officer, I did add a sentence in there that said television production experience is preferred but not required. So maybe this new addition, when we get it, can also ease the burden a little bit for us in trying to get this done a little quicker than normal. And that would go a long way.
Love it. Okay, so we're all on the same page.
Yep.
Just a reminder, today is National Pizza Day. If we've got great pizzerias here locally, order a pizza. It's 8:15, 8:17 right now. You still got time to order a pizza. So support some local business and order one. If there's nothing else, looking for any public comment on governmental issue? Apu, did you see anything?
I see none.
All right, motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
That counts.
That counts. I think I heard an I. Did that?
I said,
There it is.
second.
It's write it down.
Have a good week, ladies and gentlemen. I'll talk to you
Everybody
soon.
stay safe.
Linda, thanks for my.
Wait, I don't see Linda.
Linda's there. She's muted though. I think she needs to do the roll call.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
heard it. Okay,
Have a good night.
thank you.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.